Welcome to Living Room Clutter 111. I'm Dave Moore. Joining me is the only guy you're going to see during this visual podcast that you watch on YouTube, Josh, JC Lexicon. How's it going, Josh?
Hey, Dave. Hello, everybody that can actually see me, and I apologize in advance for the awkwardness slash hilariousness that will ensue.
You guys get to watch Josh the whole time because Keith's webcam is also not working. So he's not live on cam. Keith, though.
Yep. Yeah, I'm here, webcamless, so you can't see my beautiful face. I know. It's really because I just hadn't shaved. I wanted to look like Josh a little bit, but I just couldn't bring myself to be camera pretty.
The baldness blinded your camera, right?
That's exactly what it is. I think what it probably is my cat chewed a cord, as usual. And since we only do the show once a month, I didn't realize it. So
it's the only time you ever use the camera.
The only time I use the camera. Yep.
I know. I was worried that that this month is going to be cursed.
Yep.
I mean, this is the latest in the month we've ever done it, guys.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. Do you hear my fan running?
No.
No, I can't hear a fan.
Good deal. All right, because I didn't really want to sweat to death.
Can't hear mine either. It's great. It's perfect.
All right. Good enough.
Guys.
Ooh, we got two. What's up to Soroxis and on the Roadcast?
So E3 happened, guys.
It did indeed.
E3?
Well, did.
Well, hold on. Did it really? Because that was the worst E3 I've seen in many years.
E3 happened in Los Angeles and nobody watched any of the live streams. Did it really count?
It's more like if an E3 happened in 2018, but everything leaked 4 weeks beforehand, did it really happen?
And Sony's press conference wasn't even a conference. And,
no.
I mean, you guys saw it in theaters, so you obviously saw it. I think I was working or I finished work that night.
You didn't
watch it.
You didn't miss anything.
Hey, if it means that now developers are going to start doing more feudal Japan themed games, sign me up.
Keith, my question here.
Sure.
I had an awful experience watching that in my living room. Was it even slightly enjoyable?
I mean, I enjoyed being in the theater. It was just there was just nothing. I mean, I understood going in that they made a point of saying that they were only going to really focus on Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding and Last of Us and Spider-Man. I knew that, but I really didn't expect that to be it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't do a pre-show like they did last year. Like last year when you went into the theater at like 8 o'clock, like maybe at 8:10, they started an actual pre-show, and that was where you saw a little bit lesser titles. Like that was where they showed the new Hot Shots Golf last year, and where they showed more indie titles and some other stuff like that. And then they kind of kept the big stuff for the show, you know. Right. And then, but I expected that to be like their first party titles. You know what I mean? I thought there'd be some other stuff. Like I thought we might have seen Final Fantasy VII, you know, or something like that. And I mean, so they showed,
or at least even third party stuff.
Right, exactly. And you know, like I think that like Spider-Man looked really good, and I think the new Sucker Punch game, Ghost of Tsushima, looked really good.
Yeah, and Sekiro from Software can do good stuff, and I hope that they have more creative control because Activision publishing it. You'll excuse me if I'm not overly excited about that part.
But yeah, Death Stranding looked terrible. They looked, and granted, I'm sure they were probably showing something that was early, but all they showed him was walking around in vistas. Like, you know, what was the point?
Yeah, like if you're gonna show it, then show something worthwhile. It was better off to show me some weird cutscene I didn't understand at all than to show me that, because now I'm bored. That game looks boring as hell. It looks like Zelda Breath of the Wild with nothing to do.
Yep.
Death Stranding.
Stand eating. Or eat standing.
Walking. That was the truest walking simulator I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
So
not exciting, not good.
We'll see in like what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's probably too early. You know what I mean? Like it's probably too early, and they probably shouldn't be showing anything. Maybe they should have just skipped a year. I mean, unless it's coming out sooner than I think, but I don't see it being any.
You know what's a good game that's coming out sooner than that?
What?
and has
transition
every
well.
single character ever except Waluigi.
Whatever.
I don't have a Switch, but I'm
don't-
happy for those that are going to get to play it on the go.
Don't get me started on that game. I don't like Smash Brothers in the first place. I'm not a Smash guy as far as I'm concerned with fighting games. It's Street Fighter.
Ooh.
Get the hell out.
This has been a hot take with Keith.
This is not a hot take. Smash Brothers is for casuals. I mean, just say that.
I'm laughing at
day.
all the competitive Smash players right now who are listening to this show.
I didn't say that you can't be competitive, but Smash Brothers is fighting games for babies. It's a good party fighting game. It's not.
Yes.
I can see that. Speaking of party games.
Well, hold on. Let me finish with this one. And I think it's fun for 4 players. There's not a lot of good 4-player fighting games. So from that perspective, that's fun. And I know you can do, I think, even 8. But
yeah. So
from that perspective, it's really cool if you're not like a hardcore, Street Fighter fan or something like that. That part is neat. But like everything's so simplified, and it's just I've never been a Smash fan. I think it's cool that they're making it. I think it's nice that they have so many characters in it. But it also looks like it's not a 100% new game. I don't want to say it's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think they did more than that. Mm-hmm. But it's not a new game either. It's like Smash 4.5 or something like that.
Yeah, but was it really ever a new game?
I think that's what people were really hoping for.
Yeah, but is Smash ever really a new game?
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing about Madden or Street Fighter even.
Right.
But...
Yeah, any sports game ever.
I mean, hell, you could say it about Rock Band.
I mean,
other than like Pro Instruments or something, it's very similar. There are subtle tweaks here and there, but that's anything,
Arguably, we could say the only new like Guitar Hero game was Guitar Hero Live.
I mean, that's really just move the buttons around. I mean, it's still essentially the same thing. They tweaked it. It's like adding like analog juke moves or something in Madden or something. The truly new would have been like what's Rocksmith. I mean, I know you could do pro guitars and Rock Band, but really Rocksmith.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else at E3, I think Microsoft won by far.
Yeah, but even they didn't show a whole lot of their own stuff. They showed a lot of third-party trailers. Default. Right, and it really was.
Doesn't matter. They still showed me games.
That's fair, but most of the games they showed you will be on everything.
Yeah, true. Except Forza Horizon 4, which is going to be the greatest game of all time.
That looks good.
But Forza's an annual series at this point too. You just switch up years,
Yeah. Is there really a difference between the actual Forza and Horizon, or is
Horizon's
it like
more arcade style? Like I don't want to say Ridge Racer, but more in that vein.
It's open world too.
Yeah,
it's way more open world.
Yep.
3 was the last one, right? That's still a 360 one?
No, that's Xbox One, and that game is stellar. That is my favorite game of this console generation.
Okay.
Forza Horizon 3 is outstanding. If you have not played that game and you need something to cheer you up after the poor reception of Rock Band 4 still, play Forza Horizon 3. It will change your life. If you think you're not a huge racing game fan, if you just have a mild interest, you will like that game.
There was some other stuff.
Any highlights for you, Josh?
I saw some conferences. I know I was watching some of the Jimquisition on Twitch. Jim Sterling and some other people were riffing on EA, and I think I saw some of the Nintendo one. That riff thing. I know from Ubisoft's conference, Beyond Good and Evil 2, I'm still a little on the fence about, but I mean, at least Jade is in it to some degree, and you can tell that they're at least taking their time with it. Skull and Bones still kind of looks like Sea of Thieves, but worth a damn. I mean, let's be honest. I feel like EA is setting BioWare up to fail as well. Like, you saw that Anthem coverage in all the conferences.
Actually, everyone I was hearing that got to play it liked it a lot, but they all agreed the conference footage was terrible.
Yeah, it's just like, I had no idea Jetpack Joyride looked this good in 4K.
Yeah. Now, I actually had something today. So, the new Castlevania Bloodstained.
A Bloodstain. Yeah, I
they
want to
showed-
play that.
They showed that at the show, and if you backed it on Kickstarter at $60 or more, which I did, they were releasing the E3 demo, and they were calling it the beta, and it was supposed to come out today. And then today at like noon, they delayed it and said, "Oh, we're going to release it a week from now instead because we're going to get rid of basically the bugs that we discovered by people playing at E3, and then that way we don't get the same kind of reports or whatever." Which, okay, but they waited until today to do it. So now it will release a day before I leave for vacation. So I'll probably get to try it once for 30 minutes and not be able to do it again for a week.
So, guys, this is your #1 rhythm gaming podcast. Did anything happen in the world of rhythm gaming, Josh? Anything worth a damn in rhythm gaming at E3? They showed Just Dance at Ubisoft's conference.
There was that VR game.
Well, yeah, I'm going to get to that. Well, first off, in non-rhythm game stuff, my two favorites, I mean, they didn't show it at E3, but Spyro Reignited Trilogy, come on.
Oh, yeah.
For me, anyways, I know, Keith, you don't necessarily care for Spyro as much, but
you can't see me on camera right now, but I'm sticking my tongue out at you and putting a thumbs down.
That's fine. I can't see you anyways, but I mean, for me, because along with Crash Bandicoot, Spyro was a big part of my childhood, and I still have those games.
Mine too.
I was debating whether to get the PSN versions, but since they never go on sale, maybe I'll hold off. But I'm looking forward to seeing how, because I've seen some of the screenshots of what the levels look like, and they look really beautiful, even though their design is basically the same as like almost 20 years ago.
It looks like it plays more like Spyro than Crash played like Crash. But what do I know? I haven't played it
Well,
yet.
Speaking of Crash, they are adding a new level to the Insane Trilogy.
Yeah.
Future Tense, which I'm kind of excited for because it could be more of a challenge in line with, I think, some of what the later updates brought. And I think there's another update coming around the next week, I want to say, because the Steam version is out next Friday.
I want them to make a whole new game.
Maybe they'll make like a standalone one soon.
One level every 6 months is not okay. Just put out a new game. Make a whole new game.
Yeah, so that was the Spyro trilogy, and that comes out September 21st, so I've got that to look forward to, at least on PS4. PC version will probably come like next fall, but for me, probably my game of E3, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
I mean, damn CD Projekt Red, you just know how to make everybody wait for 3 to 5 years.
I don't know anything about that game. I don't know why people are into it.
Well, the funny thing was in the little trailer that they showed, actually at I think it was the Microsoft conference, there were all these codes going by on the screen. I think those were codes for The Witcher 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at least for Xbox, because I saw Storm360, one of the people in the Rock Band community. I think he was able to find a code from the Mixer stream, I guess, because Mixer's a thing apparently that Microsoft wants you to think about. But it was kind of a cool thing they did. And it looks really good. It's really faithful to the books it's based on. And I feel like it's going to do for, the sort of steampunk, cyberpunk genre, what The Witcher did for RPGs and really elevate it to a higher art. So I'm really glad they're taking their time with it. I may still wait 3 years to play it when it's at a more decent price for a complete edition like I did with The Witcher 3. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with this franchise going forward.
Yeah, it looks really good. The only thing is, it's probably not till next year or even later. Yeah, actually, we're talking about it on I think it was the Bombcast today, and they mentioned what they showed was running on a very, very high-end PC. It was running on a 1080 Ti, which obviously neither of the systems that we have right now are running anything close to that.
Yeah.
So
I would hope that this is definitely they're able to use a lot more higher and, like you said, high-end graphics stuff and have this be an early launch title for the next generation of consoles, because I feel like this is a game that deserves that kind of treatment.
Could be exciting.
Yep. No.
So we got that lightsaber.
Oh, Beat Saber.
Beat Saber VR game.
Oh yeah, the one that a bunch of rhythm game Twitchers are playing.
I don't even know what you play that thing on.
I don't know. It's got support for the Vive and the
PSVR?
Rift, Windows Mixed Reality, and it is coming to PSVR. Yeah, basically, I imagined it as like Fruit Ninja meets Amplitude or something.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, in VR, you basically slash a saber in time to music. I imagine it's like the Steam version of Crypt of the Necrodancer or Audio Surf, where you can put in your own locally stored music and play along the tracks from there. It's okay. Like on Steam right now, it's like almost $23, so it's not terribly priced, but it's still in early access. So just keep that in mind.
Hmm. All right. So what happened in Rock Band last month, Josh? Anything?
Well, this season was basically this season's almost done now, season 6. It was basically touted as a retrospective of Rock Band, which is kind of a thinly veiled way of saying a couple rewinds, one new song so far the entire season, which was a Rivals Only free song, and then a bunch of re-releases of Rock Band Network songs that apparently aren't re-releases because they're new to RB4, as a certain community manager would have you believe.
Yeah, because that's how you word that.
Because songs that were for sale at 1.7 or 8 years ago aren't new or aren't old, and it's one of those things they have to say to cover their butts. I'm sure of it, but
Yeah, how can we spin this so it sounds as positive as possible without it sounding stupid?
let me read what there was a blog post I think just after our episode last month. Let me see. Happy Spring. Let's see. So since the launch of Rock Band 4, we've released over 400 songs, more than 10 updates, and delivered features that run the gamut from Bruno mode to online matchmaking. It's been a labor of love for us, but the real joy is watching all of you enjoy our work. Okay, so 400 songs in
labor of love means they didn't make money.
400 songs though in a little over 3 years. It's like, okay, so you really, and how many of those were in Rivals? 100 something or close to that?
No, Rivals.
Like the free songs and all that stuff.
Well, I was thinking when they gave it to us, it was like 30, and then they had some free ones, and like there were 30 new songs, and then they started giving us some free ones and real indie ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing though. A lot of these free, and speaking of, a few days ago actually, they announced that they're like, if you're on Reverb Nation and you're interested in possibly having your song included in a future Reverb Nation Discover pack, to submit, I guess, a link to your music, and Harmonix will check it out. So basically, they're going to put together another one of those free packs, which means I imagine an update or something is around the corner.
Oh God, you want to hear something really sad? I just discovered this on accident. So I was going to the Harmonix, forums, and when you click on, which section you want to go into, it shows how many comments there are and whatnot. So Rock Band has something like 195,000 discussions, 4.5 million comments. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop Mix has 73 discussions, a total for the entire forum of 379 comments.
That's almost less comments than we've gotten on this show in the history of this podcast.
Super Beat Sports is only 17 comments. Dance Central is like 36,000. Okay. Amplitude, 93 comments ever. Disney Fantasia, 387 comments ever. The VR one, because that's where they have Rock Band VR and whatever else there was, 99 total comments ever.
So what you're telling me is nobody cares about Harmonix games at all,
other than Rock Band.
That's
Rock
the forum.
And
it's I've learned this from being on the Discord and stuff and interacting with people there. Some of the smaller pockets of like online discussion, they're not the majority of the player base. There are some people that aren't on social media at all. There are people that are more vocal on Facebook and Twitter and stuff that love everything.
Because Rock Band has sold way more than 4 million copies, much less, 4 million comments. But still, just to see the stark contrast, and what's there.
And obviously, forums have become less relevant in today's age.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking more along the lines for Drop Mix. You would think a forum would be ideal for something like that, or maybe a Reddit page or whatever. But because that's, you got to get people to play that together.
Yeah, there are some changes in terms of, well, it's saying here, so with the theme of Season 6 being the history of Rock Band DLC, very loosely, mind you, Basically, each challenge during the season focused on a different period. I think the first week was 2007/2008, so like Rock Band 1 and 2. And then we had 2009, 2010, which was basically including Rock Band 3, 2011, 2012 to 13. And then the rest of the Rock Band 4 era is this week. Like the whole Rock Band 4 era is this week, and I imagine it'll be a free-for-all where everything counts next week because they couldn't just split 2015 and 16 up and then 2017 and 18 because can't have enough to last an entire season now. But basically, with these RBN re-releases, they basically in here on the blog sort of point out what the RBN was and the process of bringing some of these songs back. So they can't support entitlements for RBN content because it was delisted a few months ago, but we've secured the rights to release a portion of RBN songs as regular paid DLC, a portion, and there's a thread on the Harmonix forums which basically somebody back in the 360 days would track how many sales of each RBN song they got. So you can look through and you can get an idea of what came out of the last month or two that they're really aiming for within the top 100 because a lot of them are more, I guess, ones that either sold well or were requested a lot, but it is hard to tell which aspect of that they focus more on. So there is that. Let's see here. We have to work through songs one by one, so we cannot just upload the whole library. We'll be releasing songs periodically, just like we do with our regular DLC, which, granted, this season has been the regular DLC. So it's hard to say it's not replacing something when it is something. So that's where the wording and the tone kind of gets me. Each song will get a QA pass to make sure that authoring, mixes, and all of the other secret bits of the song all work in the game. We'll also be adding in support for pro drums, which is especially useful for any Rock Band Network 1.0 songs because all the pro drums on that when they came to Rock Band 3 were broken, so there were no real tom distinctions. It was just all cymbals. These songs will be super fun to play and sound great. Oh yeah, except when the charters break a fill in Airbrushed, which was one of the songs that was re-released I think last week, and Owl basically said, yeah, it's too late for us to fix it right now. Sorry. So like unless you're gonna fix it in like a next update or two, don't say that you're not gonna touch stuff unless it, I guess, needs to be fixed.
What you're telling me is they're saying they're fixing things, but they've actually put out things that break the game.
They're saying they're not going to fix certain things, and then they change some other things, but then they're not fixing things that should be fixed. Like in Code Monkey, for example, which also came out last week, the vocal tubes for some of the phrases are still like ridiculously short as they've been since Rock Band 2.
Ugh.
But wait, there's more. On the mechanics front, they're making some changes to Rivals.
Can we say something about the fact that they're re-releasing these? They're costing us money to rebuy them when they're broken.
Well, look,
hold on. Not only are they charging us a second time to rebuy these songs,
that was the option. The survey the last time was, would you rather have Rock Band Network songs, but you'd have to pay for them again, or not have them at all? Because what do you think they were going to do?
But if they're broken and you're going to recharge us, you should be fixing them.
In the cases of the ones where the pro drums were broken, for example, Bodies was one of the first songs they re-released, and it had proper tom markers, but there were vocal harmonies charted in the Harmony project, but apparently since whoever authored them didn't sign off on it, they didn't include it. But they do exist, and you can go back to Rock Band 3 and play it that way, if you want to, because you totally can.
I'm not mad that they're recharging us for things. What I'm mad about is the fact that if they're going to recharge us and bring these things back, things that were broken, all things, it doesn't matter what it was, whether it was short vocal.
But it's too much work.
No. Then don't bring them back. It was unexcusable at the time when it was broken, let alone to introduce more things that are broken into Rock Band 4 is almost disgusting. Harmonix.
Should I read out the silver lining? While there's a lot of great RBN content we're excited to release, we also have an awesome lineup of non-RBN songs for release this year. Now, how many of those do you think will be in another Spotlight Pass when they bring that back maybe next season? Because there wasn't one this season, but it's probably because there was a break and they wanted to, given the lackluster selection season 5s, I would hope that 7s is a little better.
Better nobody bought it in the first place, so doing that again seems kind of pointless.
No, but again, it's like gating a lot of the more well-known songs that are DLC behind this thing. So again, you're blind buying a song on the off chance that you might like it when it's announced, and you always have to wait for 10 a.m. every Tuesday for like 8 weeks.
Doesn't make it okay.
Okay, so now the mechanics changes. We are adjusting the per song XP values to reward players who play well at higher difficulties. Put differently, players who 5-star a song on Expert will earn substantially more XP than 5-starring that same song on Medium. XP already works that way, but we're making the difference more dramatic. We're adjusting the promotional thresholds for some of the tiers to complement the XP changes we're making. We definitely want to make sure that the folks who aren't playing on Brutal or Expert have a chance for promotion. What this has translated into is playing on Brutal that gets you way more XP than playing on regular Expert. So people have been just playing Brutal Expert the last few weeks in challenges, getting a crap ton more XP and just doing that. So yeah, more people are playing Brutal, but not because they want to, or not because you need to. It's because it's an easier way to get more XP.
I mean, if people are still getting XP for rivals, then they can, but there's no point in it.
Yeah. And then they're increasing the XP decay on repeated song plays. So I guess the more you play a song, the more XP you lose when you replay it.
That's always been the case. They might have adjusted how much it does that, though.
I think so, yeah. You can feel free to give them their feedback. So that was that. I feel like there is supposed to be an update next month or by the end of the summer. But we might as well, now that we've gone through all the technical stuff, go through the new songs or songs that we had for the season. So May 10th, I think that was around the last time we had the podcast. We had 2 rewinds, Creep by Radiohead from Rock Band 1 and Duran Duran with Hungry Like the Wolf from Rock Band 2. So, I mean, there are some of the better songs from those discs, I suppose. Well, Creep is a decent song from Rock Band 1, and Hungry Like the Wolf, I think at this point it's almost like at the end of this whole experiment, we're going to have at least half of Rock Band 2 available to buy separately. Because I feel like we're almost at that point. Then we had May 17th was The Strokes with Reptilia, which was another Rock Band rewind, and the only non-Rock Band Network re-release song that's technically new, but it's a Rivals only free track, The Warning with Survive. So they have 2 songs in the game. Although it is way better than Free Falling. If that's any indication. Okay, now May 24th, this is where the RBN re-releases start. So I am referring to the little sales chart that shows how the best-selling songs for Rock Band Network. So the first 2 were Creed with Higher, and of course the aforementioned Drowning Pool with Bodies, which those were the Bodies and Higher were the #1 and #2 highest selling songs on 360 for the Rock Band Network. So there's that.
Did we get anything good?
Well, let's see. May 31st, we got A Day to Remember with If It Means a Lot to You, and Evanescence with Going Under. So if you wanted to sing harmonies on Going Under, now you can in the actual game, although you could last gen too.
With a little bit of a workaround.
Yeah, oh, and even though Going Under is apparently, I don't know if it's labeled rock or new metal, but apparently there are some songs that are more... I think actually, yeah, in the next update, they're going to be changing all the new metal stuff to the rock genre, apparently because some bands don't want to be called new metal because, I don't know, I guess maybe they realized that new metal was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, they don't like the connotation.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that
God
leads down a
forbid.
slippery slope as to, then what do you call this band? What do you call them? And then it just becomes no genre's correct.
Right.
That's
Gotta
tough.
have order in our fake plastic guitar games.
I mean, not like anybody cares what the genre is listed in Spotify, I guess.
I suppose. Going Under was number 7 on that list, and If It Means a Lot to You was all the way down to number 51. I thought they would have just kept going down the list and just go like through the top 10 and 20, but they're just kind of going all over the place. June 7th, we had Asking Alexandria not the final episode, which I would have thought they would have gone with for sure, but instead it was A Prophecy, which was number, I think, 19, 18. So like, it's okay. But then again, it's also asking Alexandria, so okay is the greatest compliment you could give it. And then some See the Song, Country Song, which I guess it's a better chart-wise, it's a better song than Remedy, because that guitar chart hurts my hand. And it's number 44, so still in the top 50 most sold.
Are people still buying things? That's my
Yeah, people are still buying things.
I would love for them to just, once come out and say, hey, and I know they can't. It'll all have to be after the fact, but I would love to know what an average song, you don't have to give specifics, to say on an average week we sell 500 songs, whatever it is, 500 downloads. I'm sure it's more than that, but at the height of rock,
I'm not, Keith. The problem is I'm not.
That's 500 total, like across all platforms every week. That seems reasonable, and then what did it do at the height? Was it 5,000? Was it, well, I mean, at the height, it was probably millions. Because,
5 million.
Yeah, because you probably had, at the real height, let's just say one person bought one song a week,
Right. Which, let's be honest, everybody's buying a couple songs a week.
Well, but not ever, there were plenty of people that probably weren't buying any, and there were a bunch of people buying like 5. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, it just, I wonder what it was back in the day. I'd love to hear, like, when they eventually do go under, what it really was like,
I think I bought 3 songs in the last year.
Really?
If we're on episode 111, I bought 3 songs this year. That's it.
I think I bought more than 3, but I haven't bought a lot. It's probably been like, I haven't been on a lot. So when I buy them, I'll buy like 5 in a row.
Right.
And then I, don't buy anything for quite a while. So,
well, speaking of songs and getting stuff and things coming back, the entitlement update, North American PS4 people are almost done.
When did this game come out?
October 2015. So we're almost at 3 years.
Yeah.
4 years. No, 3 years.
Well, it's
almost
3 years of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is
when it starts. When the day it came out to now, it's taken them 3 years, and we're still not done with entitlements. That's insane.
Yeah. So it was so nice to have some of those songs back.
Keith, we might actually be at the point where I would say, okay, maybe we shouldn't have delayed it this long.
Yeah,
right.
No, that's
like, I think maybe this is okay.
I honestly think that the right answer, and I think we've gone over this a couple times, but I think the right answer was about 6 months worth of time. If they wouldn't have come out in October during that Christmas rush, where they would have had more of a spotlight on them, not on 5 million other things that come out in October, they might have had some distance from Guitar Hero and said, and they could have said, look, that's how you don't do it. Here's the good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd have had time to put stuff into it. They'd have had, so it could have released where, I mean, it wouldn't be what it is right now, but they would have all the kind of the crappiness we had at the beginning, because first impressions matter. Yeah. And it would have been a functional game. They would have had most of the back order, like basically all the full disc exports.
Yeah, imagine if IGN
stuff like that.
IGN could have said in the review, like, your library that you had, in 2007 still works.
Right.
Like, most of it, if not all of it, will eventually work. But most of it does, versus where they were like, yeah, they said it's coming, but we're not really sure.
Right.
And,
exactly. And I'm not saying that would have made the game sell 3 times more, but I think it would have been, it wouldn't have turned people off,
Right.
So
they wouldn't have had to have relaunched it with a new hardware partner necessarily. Like, they might have sold enough to begin with.
Right.
Mad Cats might still be here.
Yeah,
maybe.
I wouldn't count on that.
Just barely.
They put too many eggs in one basket. They thought Rock Band was coming back, and it was like, no, it was always going to be niche.
Yeah.
So. Oh, well. Do we have anything?
On the entitlement front, a few weeks ago, I know people that bought the Snoop Dogg pack could finally re-download it, which means Snoop's Upside Your Head came back finally.
I think that actually showed up in mine.
I mean, I like it. And then also the rest of the delisted singles from like years ago, like 2013, 2014. So the Naked Brothers Band, those two Fleetwood Mac singles, Here Come Daleks, Manu Chao, the Tokyo Hotel songs, one of the Crooked X songs, Promised Land by Vesuvius, the other Silver Sun pickup song, sort of, Scars on Broadway, that all came back.
Oh, good.
And it means, except for Gone by Crooked X and Get Your Rock On by the Janitors, which I know I bought, but apparently PSN is saying I never bought it, but whatever. It's not that great a song anyway, so I could care less.
Can't wait to play Body I Occupy by the Naked Brothers Band again.
That is some good drums. That is a great song on drums.
It is actually a really fun song to play, but it is.
I mean, think about it. The Wolf Brothers went from being some kid stars on Nickelodeon to like Nat's a legitimate actor now. He's been in movies that people have seen.
I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean, he was in The Fault in Our Stars, and he was in a few other movies.
Okay, that is not a movie. That's a
No, there were other movies.
That's a dumpster fire on a screen.
It's off topic, but the point is you can get up to 14 more new songs if you're SIEA, and there's only one left, and then Sony America's done. Sony Europe just got Tom Petty 2 back, and I think Moving to Seattle as a single on top of some other ones. So maybe Sony Europe will be done by like next year or the year after. I'd say next year, but that's the entitlement front. And then just heading back to DLC real quick. Last week we had, of course, Airbrushed by Anamanaguchi, the first instrumental track in a long time, but it's glorious chiptuniness, except the drum chart, because there's a fill that actually is different from the Rock Band 3 version, and it's just changed. And I remember being on the Discord and some people were like, why would they change something like that? But who knows? Maybe they'll change it back in an update or something. Then again, there's there's a real drummer playing, but there's more of like an electronic MIDI chart kind of a thing. So maybe, I guess when they recharted, they sort of blended them together. I don't know. But it's nice to have that song back. And of course, Jonathan Colton, Code Monkey. And Airbrushed was number 78 on that list. So it's like near the bottom of the top 100. So the fact that they sort of reached down that far. And where's Code Monkey? Code Monkey was 24. And this week, we've got, I guess, a post-hardcore song and a metalcore song. Bless the Fall with Hey Baby, Here's That Song You Wanted. You can figure out that joke. And Relentless Chaos by Miss May I, which are two songs I don't mind parts of, but it just feels a very safe RBN choices, mostly like metal or metalcore and just, basic rock with like Airbrushed, and that's been it. Where was Relentless Chaos was number 40. God, I feel like Sid now looking up the stats.
Anything
35.
else? Anything else happen in the world of Rock Band, Josh?
Yep, I'm just getting to that. Relentless Chaos was number 35. Hey Baby, Here's That Song You Wanted, number 46. I'm trying to think of whether there was something. I feel like there was. In the world of Rock Band. God, I don't think so. No, that's the thing. It's only been like a month or two, but it feels like 4.
Was Harmonix even at?
No. Other than I think the Chiller playlist pack finally coming out for Drop Mix, I don't think there was. And I guess Beat Sports was on sale for like 20% off. Rock Band VR was on sale for like, was it $45 or $25? I can't even remember.
So Harmonix is a dying company where nobody buys their games, posts on their forums, buys their DLC, or anything. Did we get any listener feedback, or is our show dying like Harmonix?
No, we have more rhythm game stuff to talk about, Dave. Slow down.
Do we? We have
our Rocksmith DLC, but we also have. I'll go through this quick. So there's a cool rhythm game that came out. Right now, it's on Switch, and it came out last month on Steam. It'll be coming later this year to PS4 and Xbox One. For all you hip-hop fans out there, I think if you were a fan of a game like Def Jam Rap Star or DJ Hero, you might like this. This is called Floor Kids. It's a breakdance battle game which features freestyle gameplay. There's multiplayer in there, and it's sort of you would, I imagine, do breakdance moves to the beat. It's a really neat soundtrack by Kid Koala, who's a Canadian DJ that's done some really good work. He's also in Deltron 3030, if you've heard of that group. So if you're into hip-hop, I would definitely recommend looking up some gameplay videos of Floor Kids, and it's on Switch and Steam now.
Just for the record, 2
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah, I saw. So Rocksmith DLC, I'll blaze through pretty quick. May 15th, we had the Interpol song pack with All the Rage Back Home, which was in Guitar Hero Live on the TV mode, and now Rock Band 4 DLC. Evil, which I think was in the iPhone, the iOS version of Guitar Hero. Obstacle 1, which was on Guitar Hero World Tour. And PDA, which was on the disc in Rock Band 2. All 4 good, decent alternative songs. I have no idea if the strumming on All the Rage Back Home on a real guitar is worse than a plastic guitar. Probably not that bad. May 22nd was a really cool pack. We had the Metal Mix song pack. So for the first time in a rhythm game, we had Dark Throne, which are a fantastic black metal band. I definitely recommend. They had an album that came out in 2013. I think it was I'm not sure if it was called The Rights of Something, but the song we got is one of the best from the 90s, I think, Transylvanian Hunger, and that was really good. They've been around for like 30-something years, and they're from Norway, so Norwegian black metal. You pretty much know what you're getting into. The Underground Resistance, that was their album in 2013. Definitely recommend you guys check that out as well as the stuff in the 90s. Morbid Angel in that pack with Immortal Rights. See, Rock Band? This is how you get a Morbid Angel song, not 3 from Illu Divinium Insanus, which is probably Morbid Angel's worst album. But it's a good song. And then Testament with Souls of Black, not the re-record from Rock Band 2, the original version from the Souls of Black album, which is weird because I personally prefer the re-record just because it sounds really good for a re-record.
It's not always.
Sunshine and Rainbows.
It's kind of like how I like a lot of the Guitar Hero like 1 and 2 covers.
Yeah,
even though they're not like they're clearly just trying to mock the reality of the real song, but I kind of just enjoy that.
Here's another curveball. Very next week, a 3-pack of Norah Jones.
Neat.
We got Come Away With Me and Don't Know Why from her first album, and Sunrise. Actually, it's basically her first album in the pack, but I feel like Don't Know Why and Come Away With Me really would have worked in a game like Rock Band in like 2010 when an artist like Juanes could get a 6-pack, and there were just some sort of very left field artists you wouldn't expect to be in rhythm games, but I guess miracles do happen. June 5th, Variety Song Pack 15, Badfinger with Baby Blue. It's okay. I'm more of a fan of Day After Day, but they don't have too many hits. Space Hog in the Meantime, which was on disc in both Guitar Hero 5 and Rock Band 3. Pretty good 90s song. That little telephone intro is always nice. The Shadows with Apache, which is apparently some sort of instrumental song. I'm on DLC Quick Play, and I've never heard of the song before, so I imagine it's some other genre. And then we had U2 with Bad, so it's sort of a deeper cut from the Unforgettable Fire from them, which I guess it's an okay variety pack. Last week, June 12th, 2000s Mix Song Pack 4, Dropkick Murphys with Johnny I Hardly Knew Ya, which was in a DLC. It was DLC for Guitar Hero 3 in a free pack that disappeared like a few months after it came out initially. And of course, a song that has finally escaped from Power Gig and I guess Guitar Hero onto a decade's modern hit, or onto a modern hits. Modest Mouse, Dashboard. Really fun. Although that is a custom. Unfortunately, the pack drags down a little bit because there's a Theory of a Dead Man song in there. Bad Girlfriend.
I love that we get that one joke in here the one time at least.
You can't, I mean, I have some orange juice here. You just can't see me drinking it.
I know. Doesn't count if we can't see it.
Oh, yeah. Travis, Derek didn't seem to think it was that high of a priority to fix the chart, because it's confusing to me that some things are more high priority than others. Because I'm like, if this was happening with anything drop mix, like then again, they would have to answer to Hasbro, so I suppose not. Speaking of one, I heard Oya Mi Amor by Mana on the radio the other day. Thought that was odd. Interesting. I don't mind that song from Rock Band 3.
It's not about what's priority, Josh, because once again, clearly matchmaking wasn't a priority for them. It's about what's right. If they're gonna recharge us, like, then fix it. Like, I don't understand why that's a thing.
I wish I could tell you more, but
a conversation that comes up in a meet. I know this isn't you, but like comes up in a meeting and you say, all right, guys, here's the reality. We can't just give these songs back to them because we don't own the right entitlements. We just have to recharge them. It's a whole complicated licensing mess. Now, there were a few problems with a couple of these big hit songs, and people know about them, and they've been problems since Rock Band 2. Right? That's what we're saying. Like, maybe we should fix those bugs because, we're a good company. We want to prove that we care about our audience.
That's
I think maybe
not wrong, but
maybe they don't care anymore.
No, I mean they do care, but I feel like at the same time they have their own ideas of where they want to expand into different avenues, and they want to follow it, which that's their prerogative. But
yeah,
I feel like especially now with the internet, tastes are ever changing, and it takes that much more effort to keep up. But again,
right.
we'll have to see.
But not only is this a matter of we don't want to waste our time doing this because we want to invest into other things. You are souring my opinion of harmonics as a whole, right?
Well,
so
they're more than someone
beats.
from there is more than welcome to come on this show and speak with us about it.
Oh, I'm sure they're not going to come on here ever again.
You can go to the Discord and get more involvement from a certain community person than here. Come at me with what you have, but we're giving you a platform to talk with us about this. I mean, one of the last thing I'm going to talk about after the rest of the Rocksmith DLC, I'm hoping that there's going to be a podcast episode about that topic because it could, if some things didn't happen the way they did, maybe some things would change. But this week's Rocksmith DLC, whereas Rock Band is getting 2 songs that came out years ago, Rocksmith is getting a second Radiohead pack. A second. No surprises. Street Spirit, Fade Out, and They're There. All really good songs. Considering the last one was like 4 or 5 years ago, Radiohead pack. The fact that Ubisoft is still able to get some pretty quality DLC for a game that basically got an update 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. Or maybe it's a new game. I consider 2014 edition of Rocksmith to be a new game. So that's it for Rocksmith DLC, and now we have to go and kind of end things on a downer. Well, not a surprising downer, but still a downer nonetheless. So as of earlier this month, there was an article put on Activision's support website called Guitar Hero Live GHTV Sunset, information about the termination of the GHTV service. I'm going to read this. I mean, I'm going to pull an Asai. If you guys have seen Asai's video from a few weeks ago about this, I don't think I can do that justice. You can still go watch it, but I'm going to read it anyways. We want to thank you for being valued fans, money suckers, and let you know that as of December 1st, 2018, the GHTV mode within Guitar Hero Live will no longer be available to play. On that date, we will terminate the service for GHTV and servers will be shut down. Console versions of the GH Live mode will continue to operate as usual. So congratulations anybody that was ever a fan of this game. As of the end of this year, your disc becomes a coaster.
Well, they still have some offline, but anything you paid for, like those videos, all that's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
All your coins or whatever.
Plan for Guitar Hero this decade was literally in the title, live as in live service, not live music. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but a lot of games are heading towards that trend. You're right. I take that back. It's not a coaster. It's just you're going to get sick of playing the same 42 songs over and over again as opposed to the several hundred that were on GHTV.
And we always knew that was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We always knew this was eventually going to happen. I mean, granted, it's relatively quick, but we knew it was going to happen.
To be honest, does anybody care?
Activision didn't care as soon as Overwatch came out.
I think that that game got a relatively decent reception just for changing things up a bit. You know what I mean? But we always knew that this was going to be an issue. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So play it a little bit more if you want, right? We have time to play it.
Yeah, you have. I'm going to get basically, I believe it's going to go. GHTV will work until November 30th of this year, and then it will be shut down around then, and it will cease to exist on December 1st. So you have about 5 months, a little over 5 months. And for anybody that was asking about the iOS version, as of June 1st,
That was taken off like
they
with a
pulled it was
day's
taken
notice.
off.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you still own the app and have it installed on your device, you can keep playing the live mode. It says, please note, if you update your iOS software, the app may no longer be supported. I doubt that. It can work on iOS 10 and 11. It'll probably, if you re-download it, last for a few more years.
Unless Apple drastically changes something about the base of iOS, which happens every couple.
I suppose iOS 12 is going to be a thing. But I kind of did everything I needed to in that game a while ago. Even on the iOS version, it was like, well, with being jailbroken and all that, it's like I don't even have to get plays or hero cache or any of that. Additionally, on June 1st, 2018, all GHTV in-game purchases will be turned off. Players can continue to use their hero cache and items on hand until the GHTV sunset date of December 1st, 2018. Thank you for playing GHTV, and head to GH Live Mode on console to continue to play. The Sega CD version. Yeah. So
listen to feedback, guys.
You got to spend whatever you have and get it out while the getting's good.
Yep.
It won't matter. Oh. I probably still have free plays.
No. Yeah, I'm not even sure. The funny thing was, again, there had been no new songs in the game for more than a year, and except once when there was a song from the leaked song cache that accidentally got put into an old show. And I played it on PS4 for the first time in months just to see what that chart was like. It was okay, but I'm like, I've already played this on the iOS version, and I've already played. I mean, I'm kind of with Queekin on this. I don't really care that much because I've already played everything I needed to. And again, I'm not going to be like a lot of people that say, well, Clone Hero's doing this better anyways, because, I mean, yeah, it's a free game, but it's basically a free game based on existing assets from a game that is still kind of existing. So it's kind of, piracy. But there are 6-fret charts for some of the songs on GHTV. If you decide to go that route, I won't stop you from doing that. But
it's piracy for a game that no one's playing anymore. Doesn't matter.
I mean, if they could somehow get the rest of the charts for all the songs that were there and would have been there, because that leaked cache had some interesting ideas for songs, but it needed work. It needed a lot more work. And Activision, as soon as Overwatch came out, they went right back to being the FPS machine we all knew that they were deep down.
If Rock Band 4 gets shut down, which it will, and they close the store, and somebody goes in to hack Rock Band 4 to add the entire catalog of Rock Band music ever made just by using a flash drive, I feel no guilt doing such a thing once it's a thing.
Well,
so people care enough about Guitar Hero Live.
Rock Band 4 for like a few years now.
Yeah. And so once they break it and the game's gone, who cares? So people
probably would be on the Xbox One version, since I don't know if the PS3 one is as susceptible to that sort of thing.
If people want to make Guitar Hero Live live again, they will. But I don't think anybody does, so it'll be okay.
There were some good songs on there, and I got introduced to some good songs from that service. I guess the charts were okay, but it was one of those weird things where, I don't know, maybe just like playing fake plastic guitar, I found myself gravitating more towards doing better at singing in Rock Band than I did playing plastic guitar in any of these games now.
Any listener feedback, guys? Let's wrap this.
There's two. Got on the Roadcast said, hey, I've said it before, but great podcast as always. Keith trying to be sly with that cat zoom. And then Justin Daniel said there's so many songs in Rock Band that don't have the correct difficulty, at least when they are played on Expert. I have found it to be pretty weird when I gold star something impossible, but only 4-star a 3 or 4 difficulty song, something's messed up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, especially the last 6 to 12 months, there have been some, even the last season before this one, there were a few songs where like guitar was over tiered. I think on the Trivium song, drums were over tiered on that. The Breaking Benjamin song was a little over tiered on drums.
It's been broken since this game came out. I do better on 4-tier songs than I do on 1-tier songs on the disc still. So it's broken. It's broken. It's fine. Don't look at the difficulty. Just play the song.
Yeah, Sora Roxas in the chat. Wow, didn't know this. Need to go for them trophies about GHTV shutting down. All Activision needs to do is make a new GH game with the 5-button layout with a good set list and sell it with continuous DLC. You
Yeah,
know,
but
that's what everybody was telling them, like in 2012.
And they never did that during the actual wave of actual Guitar Hero. They kept putting out games. So
if you
don't
guys
count
will
it.
remember, there was that whole thing about the leaked screenshots of what Guitar Hero 7 would have looked like. And it was basically the initial steps of what Guitar Hero Live would have been. But if you guys, if you have a jailbroken iDevice and you've tried doing Guitar Hero Live with the cache method, as I've explained, you'll see that there were those little cloud icons. So at some point, there was a way to buy songs and re-download them in the future, but we will never see what was to be.
Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all we had time for. This has been Living Room Clutter, episode 111. I'm Dave Moore, your number one rhythm gaming podcast host. That's Keith Dahl. He's bald. You can't see him. And
Can't see
Josh.
me, but I'm
Josh,
right here.
Da, 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 da.
Josh, JC Lexicon. Follow Keith at KDahl08. Josh at JC Lexicon.
And check out my writing over at Dominionated.
Yeah, do that.
Dominionated.ca. Put up a new review today of the band Too Young to Go Steady. They're pretty good.
Guys, we'll see you next month for another episode of Living Room Clutter, the 1-year anniversary since this show became monthly. Bye, guys.
See ya.